is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by Corona and Corona Light, official sponsors of the timeout. Relax responsibly. Oriole Park at Camden Yards on this Sunday. It is a gorgeous day for baseball. Fans in the bullpen picnic area getting set to enjoy this game as the Orioles and Rangers play the rubber game of this three-game series. Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Rangers as they come in at 76 and 59. Julio Bourbon, Elvis Andrus, and Ian Kinsler up top with Marlon Byrd in the cleanup spot. BLALOCK will DH and bat fifth. Nelson Cruz in right field bats sixth. He has been hot over the last three games. Chris Davis, Taylor Teagarden, and Omar Vizquel rounded out for Texas.
And here is the PNC scouting report for Jeremy Guthrie. He's locking in a little bit late this season, but better late than never. His last three games, he beat the White Sox, Minnesota, giving up one earned run each, but lost to the Yankees, only giving up two. So his tempo is the key to his game. Slow the body down and get out in front, and if he does that, he will stay down, and that'll help him to stay around.
So Guthrie making his 28th start, and he gets ahead of Julio Bourbon, the rookie. 0-1. Bourbon playing in left field in the game today. He DH'd and led off on Friday night. And this one right in there at the knees, Joe West says, and it's quickly 0-2 on Bourbon, a 23-year-old rookie.
Well, this Texas Rangers are starting to come up with a lot of guys that really fit the puzzle pieces that are putting this organization together. They've needed a leadoff hitter, somebody who good high on base percentage, and they think this guy right here is going to be the answer to their question. He's tied for second in the majors with 11 stolen bases in August, so he's a guy the Orioles got to watch out today running the bases.
0-2 the count after the foul ball, and Guthrie misses low, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Jeremy Guthrie coming off a loss in his start on Monday against the Yankees. Yankees eventually won that game 5-1, but he pitched 6 strong innings. He allowed only 2 runs on 4 base hits.
Well, the Yankees just came in here and just mauled everybody. It didn't matter. Jeremy Guthrie actually had a very good game against them.
Tapper back to the mound. Guthrie gets it to first. That keeps Bourbon off base. And 1 away in the Texas first inning.
Well, here you see the Orioles defense today. Fiorentino gets a start out in left field. He's been here before. Felix P.A. in center. Markakis in right. Moore and Dino the left side of the infield. Roberts and Wigginton back at first base. Moeller behind the plate. He's had a pretty good settling influence on the staff. Jeremy Guthrie, we know, starting the game.
And there's Jeff Fiorentino making his first start since coming up from AAA. He was one of the September call-ups and the only position player of the 4 who will call up on September the 1st as Elvis Andrus, another rookie, takes a strike. Andrus has really settled in. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going, 10 for his last 26. Does a very good job in this number 2 spot for the Rangers. And Guthrie gets it by him, and it's 0-2, so Guthrie is coming right at these Texas hitters.
Well, he's another guy. This Andrus says he looks to steal bases, and I think Jeremy Guthrie's going to have to do a real good job at slowing these guys down. He's a guy, Andrus, he's stolen 4 bags in 1 game, so you know he's looking for every opportunity.
0-2 pitch, bounce to third, more backhands, and the throw across is low, and a scoop by Wigginton. Saves a Mora throwing error, and more importantly gets Andrus for the second out. Nicely done by Ty Wigginton on the back end.
Well, you see Melvin Moore backhands this ball, just kind of doesn't try to throw it hard or nonchalant. It just softed it over there like that. Could have put a little bit more on it. At least he had a good windup and a throw, and Wigginton, he dug it out over there. Pretty good job on his part.
So 2 down in the first. Of course, the first inning for Jeremy Guthrie is the most important inning. He has struggled in first innings overall on the year. And here's Ian Kinsler. And Kinsler takes a strike, and it's 0-1. So Guthrie has been strike 1 to all 3 batters in this inning. Kinsler tied for 8th in the league in home runs. And when you compare Kinsler and Brian Roberts, you have 2 second basemen, Rick, that each go to the plate and put up big time numbers.
I know. I've got to laugh because I've never seen second basemen in the American League or all of baseball really that put up the kind of power numbers that they're doing right now. 29 home runs coming into today's game with 78 RBIs. But the thing that alarms me about Kinsler, much better hitter than a 250.
Broken back ground ball. Moore cuts in front of Andino, gets it across, and Guthrie a solid 3 up and 3 down inning. Texas doesn't score. Here come the Birds in the bottom of the first. For the Orioles, Brian Roberts back in that leadoff spot after batting third the last 2 games. PA and Nolan REIMOLD, who will DH at bat third his last 4 games, 8 out of 15 with a couple of home runs. Markakis, Mora, and Wigginton, with Fiorentino getting a start in left, Chad Muller and Robert Andino.
And here's your PNC scouting report on how Derek Holland is not his best when he's out of the West. He has struggled to win games in the other division, 3-5 with a 7.7 ERA. For him, the only one loss last year all season long, 13-1 in the 3 different places that he played. He is a pitcher after Nolan Ryan's heart. 240 strikeouts in the minor leagues with only 217 innings pitched.
Well, the left-hander, he's another of the young pitchers coming through this Rangers organization. There are the numbers on the year. He is 7-9. This is his 17th start and 29th appearance. He began the year in the bullpen when he was called up. He actually started in AAA, made a start there, and then came up, was in the bullpen. But this is his 10th consecutive start since his last relief appearance. And he gets a pitch on the inside corner, so 1-2 on Brian Roberts, who's had a tough homestand.
Well, you can see a lot of things that have really changed in this Texas staff, and all of them work very fast now. This is something Nolan Ryan wanted. This guy's a power pitcher, 94 and plus, and good off-speed pitches.
So Roberts down on strikes, 1 away here in the Orioles first inning. And one of the things the Orioles have done consistently well on the year, first innings of games, the number 1 and number 2 batters, regardless of who bats usually behind Brian Roberts, they have put up big numbers in first innings of games. Best batting average, best on-base percentage, best slugging percentage, tied for the most extra base hits, and tied for 3rd in home runs, the top 2 hitters in the lineup in first innings of games.
Hasn't this guy right here, Felix B.A., been a huge surprise the second half of the season? He has really showed everybody what label he came over here with, as almost a 5-tool player. He's putting it all together with the power, the average, the running, the arm, the defense. Everything's coming together for him.
And takes a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. Derek Holland is out of Newark, Ohio. He came through the Rangers system very quickly. And he gets a slow breaking ball past PA, 1-2. You wonder where players find homes in big league organizations. The other night, on Friday night, Scott Feldman started for the Rangers. He was a 30th round draft pick in 2003. And Hewitt goes down on strikes, back-to-back Ks to begin the first, and 2 men down as TEAGARDEN gets at the first base.
You know, you were just talking about Feldman, and this guy's virtually come out of nowhere. Both of these guys that can pitch outstanding. You see this breaking ball off of Holland right here, and you combine that with that 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Not too many left-handers are going to have a chance against that.
So back-to-back Ks as Holland gets Roberts and PA, and here's Nolan REIMOLD, who is DHing today, and he takes outside 1-0. But Feldman, 30th round draft pick in 2003 by Texas, and Derek Holland, who is on the mound today, he was a 25th round pick of the Rangers in 2006.
That's amazing.
He was the 748th player chosen in the 2006 draft, and he was one of those what they call draft and follow players, as Texas drafted him and then went to junior college in Alabama, Wallace State Community College. He pitched well enough there for the Rangers to offer him a contract, and he signed. So 2 members of the rotation at the moment of the top 5, very low round draft picks, as REIMOLD gets into one. Back towards left field. Bourbon does have a play, and in front of the warning track, he makes the catch. So each team goes 3 up and 3 down in the first. We'll head to the second at Oriole Park. Rangers and O's, no score. today, you can have a chance to win. Enter by logging on to MASSonsports.com. Good luck to Ann. Marlon Byrd, Hank BLALOCK, Nelson Cruz coming up for Texas here in the second inning. As Guthrie deals inside, that's the first batter. He's gone, ball 1-2. Byrd, a dangerous hitter. He's hitting 3 in a row. 57 extra base hits on the year. 40 of those are doubles. He is the 17th Ranger in that franchise history to have at least 40 doubles in a season.
A lot of doubles. But what I really like most is watching Jeremy Guthrie on this monitor today so far, Jim. It's right behind his right shoulder. I love the movement on his fastball. When he slows everything down, this is the old Jeremy Guthrie we saw for the first 2 seasons when he joined the Orioles as a starter. Look at the movement and the drop on that ball.
Jeremy 9-13 on the year. The Orioles have gone 10-17 in his 27 starts. The 2-2 to Byrd, hit sharply towards short. Andino can't get to it, and that's in the shallow left field for a base hit. Andino hustles and runs it down to keep Byrd at first base. And there's the first base runner in the game, Marlon Byrd, with a leadoff single. Well, don't forget the Orioles and MASSON have teamed up to make those tickets even more affordable for the remainder of the season. You can purchase a MASSON Maximum Access ticket in the upper level of the ballpark for just $1 for any of the remaining non-prime home games. MASSON Maximum Access tickets are available on a first-come, first-served basis. You must purchase them online at Orioles.com at least 24 hours in advance. Now, $1 tickets are available for the upcoming series against the Rays. That's September 14th through the 17th, but they're going fast, so don't miss out. Get online at Orioles.com. Hank BLALOCK DHing today has been in and out of the Texas lineup as of late. Fouls it back, 0-2. It is only his 3rd start over the past 13 games, as Ron Washington has tried to find some kind of a combination as they make this playoff charge into September. The Rangers are the closest to playoff contention this late in the season since 2004, 5 years ago.
Well, it's amazing, and I think it's all you could attribute it all to the change in the pitching staff.
Roberts to second for one, back to first. Now it's time to get BLALOCK, but nicely done by Brian Roberts. He had to come far to his left and play that big bouncer, and he gets the lead runner. One away in the Texas second.
You read a lot about how Texas's offense is not producing as much as it has in the past, almost a little bit more than a run down over the course of the season so far than they were last year, but that the pitching has done so much better. And guys, look at BLALOCK and guys like him, Kinsler and everything. The batting average is way down, the home run production up, but the averages are not there.
Nelson Cruz fouls it back. Well, the moral of that story, as you just described it, is if you hold your opponent down, you need to score fewer runs to have a chance to win each day. That's been the Orioles' dilemma on the year. The team ERA is 5.04. Very difficult to win with any kind of consistency when you need to score at least 5 runs every game to have a chance to win that day.
I think, yeah, and the focus has always been putting bigger and better players offensively in that lineup rather than the pitching, and Nolan Ryan now takes over, and his focus is totally on the pitching and let the guys figure it out offensively. The averages aren't there. They're hitting the ball out of the ballpark, which Earl Weaver would absolutely love. They're winning ball games that way, and they're playing better defense and getting better pitching.
Cruz takes a breaking ball outside. Count evens up at 2-2. Nice job by Chad Muller there to get down and get that ball. Cruz is tied for 3rd in the American League in home runs. He has 31. The Rangers as a ball club have hit 201 home runs. Only the Yankees with 212 have hit more in the American League. So they still rely on that power. You don't usually want to rely on power because then if you don't get it, you don't win. But because their batting average has been okay and their pitching has been better, they've been able to survive. And here they are into contention in September.
Well, so far today, I like exactly what Jeremy Guthrie is doing. Every ball that's been hit so far has been on the ground, and that's what you want Jeremy Guthrie to do.
Fortunately for Guthrie, that fell foul as Cruz was simply protecting the outer part of the plate and lofted a soft line drive down the line. So back to the plate comes Nelson Cruz with 1 down and BLALOCK on at first base.
The hitters themselves, Jim, will tell you exactly what kind of stuff he has early in this ballgame. Now you've already seen a couple of funny swings, and you know the fact that CRUZ is trying to protect against that down and away that Guthrie's trying to tells you that he is very deceptive. Look at this swing right here, ground ball third base. Melvin Moore up with it to first and pulls it off the bag just a little bit. Not enough time. Base hit.
So there's a broken bat swinging bunt, if you will. Slow ground ball to third, and CRUZ is on with an infield hit.
Well, you see the bouncing ball right here, and Melvin Moore just hit too easy. Wigginton trying to cheat a little bit, pulls his foot off the bag a hair soon, trying to get the call, but can't do it.
So Texas has something going here. BLALOCK at second, CRUZ at first, and only one down. And here is Chris Davis. Davis, the first baseman, has spent some time in the minors this year. 23-year-old in his second season takes strike one. One of the things that Texas also does, which you know Ron Washington would like to see improve, is cut down on the strikeouts. And Davis at the plate is a perfect example of that. No team has struck out more this year than the Texas Rangers.
You think it might have something to do with the fact they all just kind of sit on that back leg and they have these big uppercut swings. If they connect, there's no ballpark in baseball that's going to hold them. But you got to be patient with these guys because they're going to strike out a lot.
Davis has struck out 126 times on the year. And that includes some time spent in the minor leagues, and yet he is still up there. That is tied for 7th most in the league. But this club has struck out 1,076 times on the year. And if you strike out, you don't put the ball in play, so something good can't happen.
And the on-base percentage goes down, and you don't have as many guys to drive in, which is the reason why they're down a full run more than they were last year at this time.
1-2 pitch is high, checks in time, and there's what we're referring to with the strikeout totals. Tampa Bay is second, the Indians third, then the Red Sox and the Tigers. And one team you don't see on there is the Yankees. The Yankees lead the league in home runs, yet they put the ball in play. 2-2 on Davis. First and second and one down. Guthrie misses inside, ball 3.
They're a team, Jim, that you still have to be very careful with, whether you're ahead in the count or behind in the count, because it doesn't seem to matter. They don't cut their swings down when they're behind in the count. They're still looking for the fastball, and if you leave it anywhere near the middle of that plate, you're going to pay for it. As last year, they put up 30 runs against the Orioles. They're a kind of ball club who can come in there, and when everything falls in place for them, they can put up 20 to 30 runs in a heartbeat.
Ron Washington has done a remarkable job with this organization, bringing his philosophies from Oakland and impressing upon this team that there's a certain way you have to go about it if you're going to win. The 3-2 pitch is fouled off by Davis as he stays alive. Wild card race in the American League. The Red Sox are really slumping, but still have a 2-game lead on the Rangers. The Orioles dealt Texas a damaging loss yesterday. Had the Rangers won that game, they'd be only a game out. And Tampa Bay is still hanging around, but they are 6 back. 3-2 with 1 down. Guthrie battling here in the second inning on a pair of infield hits. And foul back again.
Well, I, for one, really like what the Texas Rangers are doing, and all because of Nolan Ryan wanting their pitchers to go deeper into ball games, throw more pitches, condition themselves stronger for the season, especially in Texas where it really can be hot, and really trying on anybody who's out there on the mound trying to pitch. I think it has an overall effect on everything they're doing in this organization.
3-2. The count remains on Davis, and strike 3 called. He got it on the outside corner. A big out for Guthrie. His first strikeout and 2 down in the second inning. So Davis thought it was low, and he looked it over.
Watch this pitch right here. It is right on the corner, down and away. Toughest pitch in baseball to hit if you set it up properly. Jeremy Guthrie is on his game today. Let's just hope he doesn't make any mistakes with men on base.
Northrop Grumman bringing us pitch tracks. Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse. There is Taylor Teagarden, the young catcher for Texas. And he takes ball 1. Well, everything you just described about what Texas is doing is exactly what Andy McPhail is trying to do here with the Orioles. He has first gone to the farm system, trying to rebuild that, get a lot of options, as he likes to say inventory, increase the inventory. Joe Jordan's done a great job drafting. And Melvin Moore plays the big bouncer, step on the base, and that ends the inning. So a couple of infield hits and 2 left. Mid-second at Camden Yards, no score. Series win. They have won just 1 series since the All-Star break. This is their 15th series since the break. They are 1-11 and 2 splits since the break. Going against the 22-year-old left-hander Derek Holland. Holland is coming off an absolutely miserable start in his last outing, as Nick Markakis will lead off for the Birds. Mora and Wigginton will follow. On Monday against Toronto, he went 3 innings and he allowed 10 earned runs on 7 hits. As Markakis takes Iowa 1-0, and 2 of those hits were home runs. Rod Barajas, a 3-run shot, and Adam Lind hit a grand slam. And here's what Rick was referring to, the pitching improvement for the Rangers this year, as Markakis takes a strike. Well, that is some kind of an ugly line when you look down 3 innings, 10 earned runs. And one guy takes you deep for a 3-run shot, and the other guy takes you deep for a grand slam.
Not good.
Markakis looks it over high, ball 2. He has allowed 7 home runs combined over his last 4 starts. The 2-1 pitch to Markakis is bounced towards second base. Ian Kinsler plays it in between hop, goes down on the knee to do it. And 1 away in the 2nd inning. Well, Melvin Moore, Rick, yesterday his bat came on, a 3-hit day.
Boy, it really did. Melvin Moore put all of the offense for the Orioles. Ground ball to the left side, up the middle too, and then he added a home run later on in this ball game. Played some fabulous defense. You see him here making a play, but hurting himself as he dove. But he's back in the lineup today, toughing it out.
And as superstitious as baseball players are, I'm surprised the Orioles didn't bring back those throwback uniforms again today. The Baltimore Elite Giant uniforms.
I like those uniforms.
They were classic. You know, the fans can bid on those uniforms. You get on Orioles.com and all the proceeds go to charity.
I like all that old stuff.
And see, Melvin at a 3-hit game. Let's bid on his jersey.
Right. His 7th home run of the season yesterday, too. Starting to really come on with the power. Took a little while, but at least it's coming.
Takes a strike, 2-1 the count. Well, Melvin's had a very good series, 4 hits and 7 at-bats. Homestand, batting .348, 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. Swings through it, 2-2. Since the All-Star break, batting average a bit better, but 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. Puzzling as to Melvin's drop-off in the first half of the year. 2-2 pitch. There's a soft bloop towards center field, and that's going to fall in there for a base hit. So Melvin stays hot, his 5th hit in the series, as he bloops it into center field for a 1-out single. Orioles have their first base runner.
Well, he's starting to find his swing again. That's what I like about his. He's got the head of the bat out in front, and if he doesn't hit it off the good part of the bat, at least he's in the part of the field where he's got a chance to get a base hit, and here he bloops one into center field. But this is the good thing about Melvin. When he starts to get hot, he stays within himself. He doesn't overswing, and that's what we're seeing right now, and I think that's why he's been so productive, especially with the home run ball as of late.
First base runner for the Birds, Ty Wigginton now, and he takes a strike. Wigginton playing at first base again today. 8 home runs, 34 RBIs on the year. Mora has 3 steals on the year, and there's another strike. Same pitch, same result. 0-2 on Wigginton.
He's been very good for the Orioles coming off the bench. They needed somebody with a little power and somebody with some experience in tough situations that kind of knew what pitches to look for. He's a dead fastball hitter, there's no doubt about that. But when he gets it, he doesn't miss it very often. He's a very much of a what I call a tempo swinger. And he has to tempo himself down a little bit because he swings so hard all the time that finally when he starts to back off, that's when he finds his swing. And once he gets locked in, he's not streaky. He's a guy who can hurt you consistently.
Ball and 2 strikes on Wigginton. And Holland misses inside, 2-2. Holland has allowed 21 home runs on the year, and right-handers have just worn him out. Right-handed batters have hit 18 of those 21 home runs.
It doesn't surprise me because there's one thing about his delivery, Jim, that kind of gives it away. He stays on that left side of the rubber. You'll see him when he starts his windup again. We'll show it again right here. Watch where the foot is. He's on the outside of the rubber. Very tough for him to come in against right-handed hitters. He almost has to stay away to be effective. That's how he just struck out Wigginton right there. But trying to come in or middle in, he has to throw across his body. It's so tough to do that.
Jeff Fiorentino getting his first start since being called up. Numbers pretty good at Norfolk this year to earn his promotion. And he takes a strike on the inside corner. Fiorentino is one of 3 left-handed batters in the lineup today. The Orioles, with Adam Jones hurt, do not have a right-handed hitting outfielder available on the bench to take Jones' place. So REIMOLD plays in the outfield. Somebody else would have to DH, but instead today it is REIMOLD DHing and Fiorentino getting a start. It's only a second at bat since coming up.
I got to take my hat off to Jeff because, you know, it's very, very tough for him. When he came up with the Orioles before his first time with the Orioles, he was outstanding and hot. Oh, my gosh. This guy swung the bat as hot as anybody I had. David Newhan was the only other young player I saw come up who just swung like they hit like over 500 for the first month and a half in the big leagues. It was amazing. But he got sent back to the minor leagues, and now he's a lot bigger, a lot stronger. He realized what he had to do if he's going to get a shot at the big league level again. He had to be a little bigger, had to be a little stronger, had to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and a better average hitter. He goes back to AAA, no complaining, Jim, and now he's back at the big leagues. He got rewarded with another stint here, and maybe if the Orioles don't keep him, someone will see him.
3-1 the count with Mora at first and 2 down. And there's a strike, 3-2. Well, when you look back on his initial promotion, the Orioles drafted him in the 3rd round of 2004, and he was playing at Frederick. It was only his 2nd professional season, and all of a sudden he got promoted to the big leagues, and everybody was stunned. And he got off to that hot start. His first 6 games, Mora will go on 3-2, and it's fouled off. But he lasted only 13 games and then was sent back to the minor leagues, and he kind of fell off the radar.
He did. I think it just, we started to see other guys. Nick Markakis was making his mark at that time too, and you know, that's a pretty tough character right there to go up against. And I think the Orioles were looking for outfielders with a little more power. They needed to see that, and he wasn't one of those power guys. Good solid contact hitter and very impressive coming up out of A-ball doing what he did.
And it's high ball 4, and he works the walk. So a very patient at bat facing the left-hander. And the Orioles have 2 on with 2 down as Moore goes down to second base. Chad Moeller getting a start today. He has really been hitting the baseball. Batting average up to .250. Brings a 3-game hitting streak into today's game, which is significant when you consider that he doesn't get frequent at bats, and yet he still is swinging the bat well.
Well, that's the icing on the cake, is for Chad Moeller to come up here and hit the ball solidly as he does last couple of games. Hit a home run in his last game, was 2 for 2. But Chad Moeller is there as a settling influence for the pitching staff. He's there to also give Wieters a little break most of the time, but he's a guy they can rely on, veteran guy, knows how to handle the young players. We have a lot of young guys that look to him for guidance.
And takes another close pitch. 2-0 the count as Holland falls behind. Holland averages about 3 walks per 9 innings, but he also averages 7 strikeouts, and he already has 3 strikeouts in this game. Rick mentioned his minor league numbers. His minor league numbers were overwhelming. He averaged 7 Ks per 9 innings in the minor leagues.
240 strikeouts in 217 and a third innings. That's pretty good. And you know now why. This is the first time I've really had a chance to see him up close this well. And he's the power pitcher, 95, 96. If he wants to get it up there with a good breaking ball, not very many left-handers are going to be successful against him.
So the pitch count elevated this inning. He retired the Orioles 3 up and 3 down in the first, and now he's 3-1 on Chad Moeller. Mora at second, Fiorentino at first, and 2 men down, no score in this game. Rubber game of 3 against Texas. Here's a line drive towards center field. Back on the ball is Marlon Byrd, and he can't get it. Diving try, and it's past him. Mora will score, Fiorentino will score, and Chad Moeller with a 2-run double has given the Orioles a lead.
Boy, this is what we were talking about, you know, with the troubles that Holland is going to have trying to get in on right-hand hitters. And you see this catcher sitting on the outside corner. He gets his arms extended, drives the ball to right center field. No chance for him to catch the ball in right center field. 2 guys on. They know right away. Look at Fiorentino. He is on the way. He knows that that ball's in. He's going to score all the way from first base. The Orioles have got 2 runs on the board for Guthrie.
Chad Moeller extends his hitting streak to 4 in a row, and he's got 5 RBIs in the 4 games. And he's at second base with 2 down for Robert Andino. Andino getting a start at shortstop today, and he takes a strike. He has played infrequently, really going back to the beginning of August. He's had only 21 at-bats since August 1st. 225 on the year with a home run.
Well, you got to remember how well Andino played when he got his opportunity day to day. You stir us on the disabled list, and he showed everybody in this organization how good he can be on defense and offensively too. You go up against a guy like Roy Halladay, he ends up with 4 hits that day. That's unbelievable. It took me a whole career to get 4 hits off of Halladay.
Nothing into the count on Andino, the number 9 batter. Orioles get a big 2-out hit from Moeller to get the lead. And Andino fouls it off to stay alive. Orioles are 3-6 on the homestand, which ends today. The Birds will then head out on a 5-game road trip through Boston and New York. Dave Tremblay's team snapped a 4-game losing streak with the come-from-behind win yesterday. And Andino down on strikes, and that ends the inning. But Chad Moeller with a 2-run double has given Jeremy Guthrie and the Birds a 2-0 lead.
2005. Back then, B.J. Surhoff was in left, he was in center field, and Sammy Sosa was in right. So at 22 years old, it looked like there would be some jobs open in the outfield in the future. Now in 2009, the outfield's pretty much locked up with MARKAKIS, Jones, and REIMOLD being 25 years old or younger. But Fiorentino told me he doesn't look at it as he's competing with them for jobs. He's competing with himself, and if he does what he needs to do, there will be a job for him, if not here, somewhere else. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. And the thing about Fiorentino, what works in his favor is he can play all three of the outfield positions. So when you're looking at a guy who would be a backup, because as Amber just pointed out, on this team the outfield is set with REIMOLD and Jones and MARKAKIS, but that doesn't mean that Fiorentino wouldn't fit in as a backup, a fourth or fifth outfielder, as Omar Vizquel fouls it back to stay alive. You always need those valuable bench players over the long season.
Well, you really do. And a guy like him who's put on a little muscle and a little power, swinging the bat so well, and coming out of the minor leagues hitting over 300. But he has a nice veteran approach to hitting, and you just saw it when he walked in that one against the left-hander, and that one at bat right there. He just didn't jump out after the ball trying to impress anybody. He stayed back, took a good look at it. Those are the kind of at bats he always gave the Orioles, even as a rookie when he first came up.
Guthrie strikes out Omar Vizquel. He has 2 strikeouts. Both have been called strike threes. So one away in the Texas third. Here's Julio Bourbon, and Guthrie gets ahead of him.
And I don't want to jinx Jeremy Guthrie by any means today, but this is one of the best games I've seen him start so far this season. He is hitting the glove. He has rarely missed above the glove so far this game, and everything is down in the strike zone. This is when he is so effective. He is so slow right here through the delivery, lets that arm get out in front, and that makes it easy for him to keep the ball down on the corners. He knows what he's doing out there. That's not his problem. His problem has been up in the zone when he's behind in the count, and you're always going to pay, especially in this league.
Ground ball hits slowly to third. Mora to his left. We'll get it across to get Bourbon, and 2 down here in the Texas third inning. On Tuesday, September 15th, the Orioles host Tampa Bay. It is the final Ollie's Bargain Night of the season, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. All upper reserve seats are just $8, so gather up your family and friends and come on out for an exciting and affordable night of Orioles baseball. 888-848-BIRD or online at Orioles.com. So Guthrie gets the first 2 in this third inning. Here's Elvis Andrus, who grounded out his first at bat. High fly ball to center field. PA back on it, has a play. Shading his eyes from the sun, and he has it for the out. So Guthrie has his second 3-up, 3-down inning. Mid-third, 2-0 O's. Trip through Baltimore and Cleveland. And these are critical games for the Rangers as they try to catch both the Angels in the West or the Red Sox in the wild card. Ryan Roberts leads off, takes a big breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Roberts PA REIMOLD for the Birds in the third inning. Ryan struck out his first at bat. Holland has 4 strikeouts already. Holland has faced the Orioles already on the year. These two teams played 2 series early on and did not see each other again until this weekend. But back on April the 25th, he came on in relief here at Camden Yards and pitched 3 very strong innings.
Boy, so far he has thrown 3 different pitches to Brian Roberts. So he is really changing speeds and positions. He is not going to give Brian Roberts a chance to see 2 fastballs back to back because he knows how good a fastball hitter Brian Roberts is.
Ryan is 5 for 32 on this homestand. 1-2 is just inside, 2-2. If there's one part of Brian's game that you would like to see reduced, it's the number of strikeouts. He has now struck out 94 times on the year, and he is such an impact player as he hits it in the right field softly for a base hit. When he puts the ball in play, good things happen, and he's on with the leadoff single. Time for our Ford trivia question of the day as we try to stump Dempsey. Who holds the Rangers record for most wins in a season? Is it Nolan Ryan, Kevin Millwood, Kevin Brown, or Ferguson Jenkins?
Nolan Ryan or Ferguson Jenkins. Can't be Millwood.
I'm going to say Jenkins. I have no idea, but who's your pick?
I want to pick Jenkins too.
You're allowed.
I struck out enough against him. He must have had a lot of wins.
His PA shows bunt takes low. Well, let's get the answer and see who had the most wins in a season. Ferguson Jenkins back in 1974 when Rick Dempsey was just a young pup.
Do I know my K's or
25 wins. Well, the guys that strike out and dominate, you tend to remember those guys.
I know. I struck out 6 out of 9 at bats out of him. Merle Weaver wouldn't play me against him anymore.
Roberts chased back to first.
Kept throwing me that slider. I thought one of these days he's going to throw me a fastball, and he never did. No. How smart is that?
No reason to.
I had one of those kind of swings where I swing and go to one hand, the bat goes all the way around, and that was it.
Bunt attempt by PA, pops it up, and Holland over to grab it. I'm not sure if that was a sacrifice attempt or not because he tried to push it. But nonetheless, he pops it up.
It was not a sacrifice. He was bunting for a base hit, but what I like about that with PA is he's starting to use all of his different kinds of talents. He's got to use his speed. He has to learn to bunt. Now, I know he's been trying to bunt, but he's not a very good bunter at this point in his career. He's been unsuccessful most of the time, but I like that it goes through his mind at the right time. A left-hander against a left-hander, it's tough. He already struck out once in this ball game. So he realizes the best thing he can do is move Brian Roberts. Does maybe take a chance of getting a base hit at the same time.
So Roberts holds it first with 1 down. Nolan REIMOLD now, and he takes a pitch low. Nolan flied out to deep left field his first at bat. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going. Holland gets it in there for a strike, and here's his home run in yesterday's game as the Orioles came from behind for REIMOLD. It was his 14th home run on the year, and he really is solidifying his numbers for the run at the Rookie of the Year. Leads all rookies in home runs, average on-base percentage, slugging percentage, and walks.
The average was the one that I was afraid that he wasn't going to be able to get, but look at that, 279. He's first in everything right now, and he's really starting to come on. Short, compact swing, and very powerful. Every outfielder that the Orioles have right now, PA included, Adam Jones, Nick Markakis, all very quiet, very short to the ball, and very powerful. Maybe not big 40, 50 home run kind of power, but good line drive power.
1-2 the count on REIMOLD with Roberts leading from first. Holland misses inside, 2-2. Of course, the question with the voters for the Rookie of the Year is, will they penalize REIMOLD because the Orioles are not a contending team? Rick Porcello, the pitcher for the Tigers, has 12 wins, which ties him with Neiman of Tampa Bay for the most wins by a rookie. And the Tigers are first place club. That pitch was behind Nolan REIMOLD, and Teagarden somehow was able to glove it.
That should be two categories. They should be pitchers and players. But let's look at this pitch here. Oh, the breaking ball. That might scare you a little bit. Throwing across his body. He throws the ball behind Nolan REIMOLD right here. And that's what it's so hard to do what he's trying to do from that corner of the mound. We went through that with Michalio when we made the changes as he strikes out REIMOLD there on a tough fastball to hit. But Michalio, the reason he got sent back. Let's watch this pitch one more time. Fastball up in the strike zone. When you're ahead in the count, this is when you can pitch up in the strike zone. You have to swing at it. You're afraid the hitter said it's going to be a high strike and very tough to catch up to.
So a big out for Derek Holland, 2 down, and here's Markakis. That grounded out his first at bat. Still has an outside shot of making a run at 200 base hits, but he'll have to get some kind of hot. 26 games remain for the Orioles, including today, and he needs 33 hits in those 26 games to reach 200 base hits for the first time in his career, as Ryan Roberts is chased back. Someday he's going to get there. He'll make a run at it this year. But that is some kind of a season when you can put together 200 base hits. Looks it over low.
I got close one time.
Did you?
Yeah, 104.
So your category is if you top 100, you got close to 200.
If I got over 100, it was automatic 200.
Markakis takes a strike. With Markakis, base hits on the Orioles. 167 for Markakis. Roberts has 153. Jones has had an injury interrupted year, 131. And then Markakis with that good batting eye.
You wouldn't want to make another bet with me, would you, Jim? On whether Nick Markakis has 200 hits by the end of the year. I say he'll have 200 before the year's over.
Okay.
Because I know one thing about Nick. If he gets a hit his first time up, he's going to get 3. Not 2, but 3 or 4.
Bouncer towards second. Kinsler to his left has it. And he'll get Markakis. So base hit leading off. Roberts left. We'll head to the 4th. 2-0 Orioles.
Fun, kid-friendly area. There's even a special Orioles merchandise store right here tailored to younger fans. So bring your family to the Oriole Park Kids Corner, located on the main concourse level just inside Gate C on the first base side. Jim?
All right, Amber, thank you very much. As Ian Kinsler leads off here in the 4th and fouls it off. Kinsler, Bird, and BLALOCK against Guthrie, who has a 2-0 lead. Kinsler grounded out to third his first at bat. He is now 0 for his last 12 as he faces Jeremy Guthrie. He takes outside 1-1.
I'd have to look at his numbers before the game starts and say this guy is looking for the fastball. He has stopped trying to hit the breaking ball behind in the count and going for the downs.
And he hits it the other way for a leadoff single in the 4th inning, so Texas can get the tying run to the plate here with nobody down in the 4th as Kinsler snaps his 0 for 12 with a soft single to right field. Of course, with Jeremy, it's all about keeping the ball in the ballpark. Well documented. He has allowed home runs in 20 of his 27 starts, and he still leads the American League in most home runs allowed in 30. 19 of those 30 home runs have been solos, but 6 2-run and 5 3-runs. So he has allowed 46 runs on those home runs. 46 of the 98 runs he's allowed have come in on the home run. 47% of the runs scored against him have come in.
He's always given up home runs, but never at the pace he has given them up this year. He's always seems to make a mistake late in the ball game trying to do something, because the Orioles in the past have not scored him any runs. He always suffered trying to get through ball games with 1 and 2 and 3 runs. Can't make a mistake. That's what makes you make a mistake. But he's pitched pretty well regardless.
Double play ball to Andino to Roberts, back to first. There it goes. 6-4-3. That eliminates Kinsler and 2 men down. Nicely turned by Roberts as Kinsler got on him.
We look at this play again. Tops the ball here right to shortstop Andino. Just quick throw to Brian Roberts, who stays behind the bag here. Doesn't go across the bag at all. Gets out of the way, makes a pretty good throw to first base, and they got the easy double play.
So Andino and Roberts turn 2. That eliminates the base runner and brings up Hank BLALOCK with 2 down. Time requested at the plate by Chad Moeller because Robert Andino was moving as Guthrie was about to go into his windup. Andino went into the shift and he was still moving to the other side of the base. As BLALOCK fouls it back, and Moeller alertly saw that Andino wasn't set and requested time from Joe West.
He got Andino. See him with the one ear in his hat and one ear out. That's always good luck for him. Another little thing that ball players do. I don't think anybody's ever noticed that.
1-1 the count.
You ever have one ear in the microphone and one out?
No. Need to be able to hear
some of the things they do.
1-1 is tapped foul. Good pitch by Guthrie. But BLALOCK is down in the count. Orioles have a day off tomorrow, but they have to travel. They'll travel to Boston for a 2-game series with the Red Sox. Then they have another day off coming up on Thursday. Outside 2-2.
This is when things get real hard for the Orioles, when you start to go into Boston and New York this late in the season, and both of them are pennant contenders. One's leading the wild card, the other one's leading the East. Very, very tough to play those teams under those conditions.
BLALOCK strikes out. Good inning for Guthrie. A base hit, none left, mid-4th. 2-0 O's. Now, make your bids, Orioles.com. Fans looking in the bullpen picnic area, right behind the bullpens. Melvin Moore leads off for the Birds and takes a strike.
Boy, it's a mystery to me about Melvin Moore and his home run production this year. All 7 home runs have been here at Camden Yard. He has not hit 1 home run in any other ballpark but right here at home.
The Orioles have been a much better and more consistent offensive team here at home. And they've averaged a full run per game more at home than in road games as Moore pops it up. Davis is over. That ball is slicing back into the crowd. The Orioles have averaged 5 runs per game here at Camden Yards and 4 runs per game on the road this year for Dave Tremblay. They have been a play for the big inning kind of a team. And there's the disparity between home and road. 33 wins here, 22 on the road. Much better batting average, the runs per game, home runs per game as well.
Kind of nice to see, what is going on here at Camden Yards and I think everything has to do with the difference in weather conditions so far this season. Much different than it's ever been. Not as hot, humid for as long as stretches that it used to be. A lot more moderate around here. The wind doesn't come in straight away center field like it used to, and it knocked a lot of balls down. So that short porch in right field, you're starting to see how easy it is to hit some home runs that way, especially into right center field. Best ballpark in Major League Baseball is right here.
And Melvin Moore is plunked. He'll head down to first base. Leading off in the 4th inning, so the Orioles get their leadoff man on.
You see this shot right here just inside. Ooh, that's one of those that absolutely undressed Melvin Moore at home plate, and even he was smiling about that. It almost took his shirt off.
Here's the home run production by ballparks this year. Yankee Stadium, of course, Yankee Stadium new this year, that jet stream, and we're told that the dimensions are not as far to the outfield fence, in particular in right field, as is indicated. Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Camden Yards 4th in yielding home runs in the major leagues. Here's Ty Wigginton outside 1-0. When the Orioles face Holland in that relief appearance in April, Wigginton hit a home run off Holland. Struck out his first at bat. Holland has 5 Ks through 3 innings plus 1 batter.
It's kind of funny, Jim, as much as we're seeing a difference in the amount of home runs here at Camden Yards, the Orioles still only have 1 player with over 20 home runs on the season, and that's a mystery. The New York Yankees come in here, they've got 7 already with over 20, and a few of them with over 30. Actually, 1 of them over 30.
Wigginton takes outside 2-1. Well, I'm sure that's one area that Andy McPhail will really take a long, hard look at this offseason. What the Orioles need is they need a bopper that they can put in that cleanup spot and leave him there and let him do his damage. Get Markakis back into the number 3 spot where he is so effective.
I totally agree. I think if PA continues to swing the bat as well as he has done, he might be a hitter that you ought to experiment in leaving in the number 2 slot behind Brian Roberts. With his ability to bunt and move some guys over, that needs to improve. But to get Markakis, just like you said, back in that number 3 slot, I think that's imperative. They have to do that. They find a guy that can hit 40 or 50 home runs. Right there, Nick needs that kind of protection because he's your horse right there in the middle of your lineup. Your number 4 guy, you don't worry too much about him hitting, 260, 270, something like that. But you do want that production where teams are afraid to pitch to him because he'll hit 50 of them here.
And within the Orioles system, there really are only 2, I guess you could say legitimate, because they haven't proven it here yet, but prospects with the home run, and that's Josh Bell, who they got in the trade for George Sherrill with the Dodgers, and Brandon Waring, who was the Carolina League Player of the Year and is now at Bowie.
Yeah, those 2 guys up and coming, like you say.
There's a base hit blistered over the glove of Elvis Andrews. Mora heads to third as Marlon Byrd bobbles the ball, and heading to second is Ty Wigginton. So that'll be a double for Wigginton, and the Orioles have second and third and nobody out. That ball was absolutely crushed.
It smoked. He got that fastball he's looking for, and he crushed it. Low line drive over the shortstop's head into left center field. A little bit of a bobble on the play. Melvin Morris sees that, heads to third. But the biggest part of that whole play is Wigginton getting to second base with the double.
Mike Maddox out for a chat. The Texas pitching coach with Derek Holland. Holland has 7 wins despite an ERA of 5.63 because he's the guy in the Rangers that they seem to score a lot of runs every time he goes to the mound. He doesn't have enough innings to qualify in the league leaders, but they have averaged 6.1 runs per game when he pitches. That's a lot of run support.
It is. I mean, Jeremy Guthrie has had 6.1 runs per game. You'd see a lot of difference in his win-loss record over the last 3 seasons.
Now, Texas will draw the infield in for Fiorentino, already trailing 2-0. Big opportunity for add-on runs, second and third and none down for the Birds. There's a strike at the knees on 1.
You know, Jim, you were just talking about the Orioles' lack of big home run hitting guys. I think there's 2 guys in the lineup now, although they're very young, that can someday produce 40 to 50 home runs. Adam Jones, for one, after what he has done, kind of improvements he's made over his first year.
Line drive left field. That'll fall for a base hit. Melvin Morris scores. Wigginton to third here to make sure that ball would fall in. And Jeff Fiorentino has a base hit and an RBI, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead.
Well, we talked earlier about his veteran presence and his approach to hitting. This left-hander does not make him pull off. He just hangs in there. Fastball away. He goes away. You see he's very solid. He sees it, stays inside the ball, drives it to left center field. This is a huge run for the Orioles in this situation. Right? He did not give that at bat up. It's going to save the Orioles in at bat. That's huge for them.
Wigginton moves to third. Fiorentino on at first. And here is Chad Moeller. Moeller got the Orioles the lead with a 2-out double, a drive in 2 in the second inning. Pops it foul out of play. Back in the second inning, going the opposite way.
Chad Moeller to right center field. Fastball out over. He gets the extension, drives it all the way to the wall. 2 runs score. You see right there Fiorentino, who had walked. He ends up scoring all the way from first base.
0-1 the count on Moeller. Takes a strike at the belt, and it's 0-2. Dustin Nippert is now getting loose in the bullpen. Texas had 10 relievers listed in the bullpen today, and Nippert wasn't even one of them. They got pitchers all over the place for the series. Go to first, chases Fiorentino.
I am so glad to see Jeff Fiorentino back with this ball club. And I'm so kind of proud of the Orioles for giving him this opportunity to come up and reward him for the great year that he had and the attitude that he took down there. Very tough to go back to the minor leagues and be stuck in a position like that. You almost feel like your career is over with. But he is a pure hitter. And if anybody knows, I can see it in this guy. I've seen a lot of players like that from behind home plate. Very tough to get out. They go with the pitch. They know exactly when to be aggressive, when not to be. And I hope he stays around for a while.
Chad Moeller goes down on strikes. There's the first out of the inning. And the 6th strikeout for Derek Holland.
Holland, to me, is going to have to experiment moving around on the mound. This is the 2nd strikeout I've seen in the last inning or so with the breaking ball inside. But he's had trouble with the fastball away, pitching off that side of the mound, trying to come in. I just don't think that the Oriole hitters even look for the ball, the fastball inside off of this guy right now.
Andino takes high, 1-0. Andino giving Cesar Estouras this Sunday off. Struck out his first at bat. Orioles got 2 in the second, 1 here in the third, and looking for more. Runners on the corners, and only 1 down. There's a strike. Holland pitched in 43 games in his minor league career, 41 of those starts. as he raced through the Texas minor league system.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do in this situation, first and third, is hit the ground ball down there to third base. You give that third baseman an option to go home and cut the run down, or go, if it's a hard hit ground ball, go for two with a right-hand hitter up there. You see the third baseman even with the bag, and even as the pitch comes to the plate, he moves in a little bit closer. To stay away from third base, hit the ball up the middle, fly ball in the outfield, sacrifice fly to the right side, anything you can do, but don't get caught with that breaking ball down and in and try to pull it.
1-2 on Andino. Breaking ball looked like missed inside. 2-2.
That's what they're trying to get him to do, is hit that ground ball to third base.
FIORENTINO edging off the bag. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andino. A run in for the Birds. Ball 3. He's had a lot of success with that tailing fastball to the right-handed batters, but that breaking ball keeps breaking inside off the plate.
Well, like I say, right in this situation, he is trying to get the ground ball to the left side. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to give him a chance with a fastball out over the plate. They already know he's a pretty good swinger in that situation.
And it's inside, ball 4. Very good at bat by Andino, who's quickly down on the count. And he works the walk, so the bases are loaded with 1 down.
I'm not so sure that was a ball. I mean, I'm glad he walked him in that situation. Now the bases are loaded. You got 1 guy closer, but that was a pretty good looking pitch right there. I don't blame him for being frustrated with the call on the umpire.
Wigginton at third, FIORENTINO at second, and Robert Andino is at first for Brian Roberts.
Of course, you don't want to look at Joe West cross-eyed, do you, Jimmy?
31st year, 32nd year in the major leagues. He is the crew chief here. And that one's too tight, 1-0.
You may have a very tough time getting a lot of real close calls with Joe West if you give him any kind of look at all.
Brian is 1 out of 2. He singled his last at bat. Line drive left field, and that falls in for a base hit. Over the plate is Bourbon. Here's Wigginton to score. FIORENTINO will score. And it's a 5-0 Orioles lead. Big base hit for Brian Roberts.
That's why I say Brian Roberts is as tough as any hitter the Orioles have with men in scoring position. He always gives you good at bats in those situations. Why the Orioles wouldn't be afraid to move him anywhere in the lineup when they need offense. Look at this pitch right here. Middle away. Brian pulls it down the left field line. FIORENTINO, good jump. Scores easy on the play. Everything worked well for the Orioles in that at bat.
And still only 1 down. Andino stopped at second. Roberts at first, and PA takes ball 1. PA is 0 for 2. He has struck out and popped up to the pitcher on a bunt attempt. Outside again, ball 2. Meantime, while the Orioles now have a 5-0 lead on Texas, the Angels have a 4-0 lead in Kansas City with Joe Saunders on the mound. So the Angels with a 4.5 game lead on the Rangers for the division lead in the West. Could have an opportunity to open up a 5.5 game lead. As Derek Holland is laboring here. Andino at second, Roberts at first with 1 down. There's a strike. PA took all the way.
Still going to be very tough in my eyes, Jim, to see Texas catch the LA Angels because they just don't have enough depth right now in their starting pitching. Guys, yes, they're pitching a lot better. They're pitching better out of the bullpen even too. But their starters with McCarthy, who's already got 70 innings, and Hunter, who's got 80 innings. These guys, I just don't think they're solid enough, deep enough, really. They might have a shot at Boston if Boston at all waivers going down the stretch, but right now it's going to be tough for them either way.
Well, the one advantage they do have, however, is 7 games head-to-head with the Angels. So if you're going to beat the team ahead of you, it's good to be able to play them. Here's Ron Washington out for a pitching change. So Holland will go 3 1/3, and the Orioles chase him as they once again have the bases loaded in the 4th. He is not very happy with himself. And when you walk 2 batters and hit a batter in an inning, and that will add to that earned run column. It was 3 1/3, 5 earned runs on 6 hits. He walked 3, hit another batter, did strike out 6. And he leaves with the bases loaded, and they're all his responsibility. So a rough outing for the 22-year-old. And here is Dustin Nippert, who has spent time in the rotation for Texas. So one native of Ohio replaces another.
Well, you can certainly see what is so impressive about Holland, the fact that he's got the good fastball and the good breaking ball, but he's been consistent in the strike zone.
Nolan REIMOLD, first ball swinging, skies at the shallow right. CRUZ comes in on the ball. Tagging coming to the plate is Andino. Here's the throw. It is off the line. So there is a sac fly and an RBI for REIMOLD, and the Orioles now have a 6-0 lead.
Well, that's what you got to like about Nolan REIMOLD, is the fact that he addresses the situation. He knows he needs to get a fly ball, at least a sacrifice fly in that situation. He hits the ball to the right side. Andino scores easily. Over there, the Orioles have another run. You're never safe in this ballpark anymore. 6 runs up for the Orioles and still trying to piece it together.
The other runners did hold. Roberts at second, PA at first. 2 out now in the inning. And here is Nick Markakis as the Orioles have batted around. Markakis twice has grounded out to second base. That is very good situational hitting for Nolan REIMOLD to get that runner in from third on the fly ball. Those are big add-on runs.
We were talking earlier about that 40 home runs, and I think Nolan REIMOLD is going to get bigger and stronger, just as Adam Jones has. He's already probably going to do anywhere between 15 to 20 home runs in the season. So if you stop and think about doubling that production like Adam Jones was about to do before he hurt his ankle, that we're going to have a couple of big power guys in this ballpark. And, you know, when they start pounding them out early in the season, Jimmy, that confidence builds. And who knows what these guys are going to be capable of doing.
Nippert gets a strike on Markakis, 2-1. But when you talk hitting with Terry Crowley, he'll tell you that the consistent power is the last part of the game to show itself at this level.
Well, it really is. Yep, you're right. They got to develop a swing first. The confidence comes a little bit later. The power when they get bigger and stronger. Then they start looking for pitches when they get ahead in the count. Guy makes a mistake in this ballpark. There's no part of this park that is safe, right-handed or left-handed. Easy to go out when you've hit it solid.
Robertson, PA take their leads. 3-1 with 2 down. Markakis at the plate. Looked like an off-speed pitch, and he swung through it. Nippert was acquired from Arizona. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks in 2002 and was in the organization through 2007 before he was traded in spring training of 2008 to Texas. So he's in his second year with the Rangers organization. Runners will go 3-2 with 2 men down. And the payoff to Markakis is hit toward shortstop. Andrews is there. And he will get it to first. That ends the inning. But the Orioles bat around and score 4. Well, into the 5th at Camden Yards. Guthrie and the Birds with a 6-0 lead. Derek Holland has been knocked out of the game. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And there are the lines. Rick, of the 2 starting pitchers.
You see there, Derek Holland, you get 3 1/3 innings. What really hurt him the most was those walks in tough situations. 3 walks right there, earned run 6. The Orioles hit him solidly today. Was not ahead in the count very often.
So Guthrie now with a 6-0 lead. Also CRUZ batting, takes ball 2. Guthrie was on the bench a long time as the Orioles batted around and scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. CRUZ reached on an infield hit his first at bat. Broke his bat and the ball was hit slowly towards third and he legged it out.
I know I've been talking about how well Guthrie has started this ball game today, but when I see him missing in the strike zone, but he's missing low, that tells me he is really on top of his game. A lot of movement today. I really love to see that. He'll probably go very deep in this ball game today. I don't want to jinx him. I won't say it again, but he's doing a pretty good job.
Sky to right as CRUZ lines out to Markakis. So after 3-0, Guthrie gets CRUZ and 1 down. Attention youth sports teams, coaches, and players. Call the Orioles and get your team signed up for Youth Sports Day, Sunday, September 20th at Oriole Park. Boston's in town. Your football, lacrosse, basketball, field hockey, baseball, or any sports team can take part in a pregame parade around the Oriole Park field and enjoy great group pricing on tickets. 888-848-BIRD or onlineorioles.com for all the details. This Davis takes strike 1. Davis was called out on strikes his first at bat, one of the 3 strikeouts by Guthrie, and there's ball 1 low. Davis is 23 years old. He's in his 2nd season. Takes low again, ball 2. The Rangers are at 76 and 59. They have gone 28-20 since the All-Star break. And Guthrie misses inside, so back-to-back 3-ball counts to begin the inning, and Moeller's out for a visit with Guthrie.
Well, I think this is one of the things that the Orioles have really looked for in their catchers is communication with the pitching staff. And you see Moeller kind of recognizes that Jeremy Guthrie's thrown a couple of pitches that don't seem to fall in sync right now. He's going to go out there and change the tempo of the game a little bit, and I think that's a very smart thing to do.
And Guthrie misses high, ball 4, and there's his first walk. Comes with 1 down in the 5th inning. So Guthrie now will go to work on Taylor Teagarden, the Rangers catcher. Teagarden bounced into a force play to end the 2nd inning. Teagarden was drafted and developed by the Rangers. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2005. They have really done a very good job in the Rangers organization of revamping their minor league system. It's very much what the Orioles have been doing since Andy McPhail got here. Joe Jordan has had some tremendous drafts, and it's added to the depth of the farm systems. And anytime you have options down below, internal options, it increases your ability to win at the big league level and consistently win at the big league level. Baseball America, which does an outstanding job in covering minor league baseball, has rated the Texas Rangers farm system as the best overall farm system in all of baseball. And in 2007, they were ranked 28th out of 30 teams. That's a pretty good turnaround. Go from 28 to 1.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Teagarden pops it up. PA charging in from center field with his sunglasses down. Felix gets there for the 2nd out.
Well, even the Orioles have had to make a big surge in that direction too, Jim. As of late, they've really improved their minor league system so much over the last 2-3 years that I think you're starting to see a lot more position players come up here. The pitching's starting to get stacked up down there too. We still have a lot of good young pitchers down there that have had some outstanding seasons. Big numbers down there coming out of our pitching staff, and this is what the Orioles really need more than anything is the pitching prospects and the defense.
Vizquel hits it towards the corner. That is a foul ball. Well, the Orioles farm system was ranked 9th out of the 30 teams, and that's an improvement from 17th in 2007 and 16th last year.
There's just not too many teams in baseball anymore that can do what the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees can do. Whatever they need, they can go out and buy that. Every other team realizes they have to develop from within. The Orioles themselves are a team that feel that way too. And they're really starting to do that. You're seeing big trend changes in baseball because they're tired of seeing the same teams win over and over.
Vizquel skies out to left, mid-5th, 6-0 Birds.
Game summary for the Orioles. Of course, the catcher has to get him going. Fastball out there. Chad Moeller double to right center field. 2 runs come in. A little bit later, Jeff Fiorentino gets a shot at the game today. He has a big base hit to left field RBI. And Brian Roberts, imagine that, down into the left field corner again. Fiorentino scores. The Orioles go up 6-0.
6 runs on 6 hits for the Birds, and Texas has not scored on just 3 hits off Jeremy Guthrie. Rangers have left 3 men on, and Guthrie benefited in the 4th inning with a double play ball after a leadoff single. Orioles looking to get 2 out of 3 from Texas and really put a dent in their playoff chase. This would be the Orioles' 2nd series win since the break. As Melvin Moore, first ball swings, pops it up shallow right towards the line. There's Nelson Cruz battling the glare and has it for the out and 1 down. Oriole fans, when it comes to tickets, you deserve major league service. So go to StubHub, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Orioles. And here is the upcoming schedule. Day off tomorrow. Birds will travel to Boston. Night games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then a day off Thursday in New York. And a 3-game weekend series against the Yankees. Of course, O's Extra before and after every Orioles game here on Massa. Ty Wigginton now. Wigginton has 1 hit in 2 trips. And he takes low 2-0.
Well, he had a bullet his last time up to left center field. A shot just over the shortstop's glove, but he can hit it so hard at times. It's amazing. He is a strong, strong man.
5, 6, and 7 in the Orioles lineup today has scored 5 of the 6 runs. And Moeller in the number 8 spot has 2 RBIs. So good production from the lower part of the lineup in this game as Wigginton gets a hanger and he drills it to the gap in left center field. That rolls all the way to the Orioles bullpen. Wigginton will get into second base with a 1-out double. It is incredible how quickly major league hitters adjust to mistake pitches. That one hung and he was right on it.
He did. You can't back-to-back same speed with him because he gets locked in now. We talked about it earlier, how he's a guy who used to swing just as hard as he can, but when he gets locked in for a season, it's when he kind of backs off a little bit, takes a better look at the pitch. He drives this ball to the gap in left center field. Another double, not unusual for him once he gets in his groove.
So Wigginton has 2 hits, both doubles. He's 2 out of 3. His 26th multi-hit game, and here is Jeff Fiorentino, who is getting his first start since coming up from AAA, and he's had a perfect day. And it takes a strike. Fiorentino walked with 2 men down to keep the 2nd inning going, then scored on Moeller's double. And his last at-bat, he singled a drive in a run and came on the score. Swings through that one, and it's 0-2.
But doing my catcherly duties, Jim, you almost have to notice, that Fiorentino's made some changes, and it tells me something about what's happening in his career. Is he used to choke the bat at least 3 or 4 inches and just try to lay the head of the bat on the ball. Now I notice he's down on that knob a little bit, and that's probably why he was in double figures with home runs in AAA this year. He's starting to hit the ball with more power. He realizes he has to do that.
Looks over 1-2 tight. Blocked by TEAGARDEN. 2-2 on Fiorentino.
He's always been a very disciplined hitter at home plate, not a guy that swings at a lot of bad pitches. He really has a good idea of what he's trying to get accomplished. He's going with the pitch, but he's driving the ball a lot more. So, I mean, he's really starting to become a good, solid major league hitter. Look at, I love the open stance like that, so anything middle in he can pull. Not just trying to soft the ball out anymore.
Slaps it foul the other way. Fiorentino left the Orioles on a waiver claim. He went to Cincinnati, then he went to Oakland, and the Orioles got him back the same way by claiming him on waivers. Two and two with Wigginton at second, and again a foul ball.
A little bit unorthodox swing, although it's a good swing from the waist up. The bottom, he tries to get that front foot on the ground as soon as possible. That stabilizes his head, keeps it right on the ball. And then he really uses the lower half of his leg body well. Very quick with the bat, short and quick to the ball too.
And Fiorentino has worked the count full. So a very patient at bat for Fiorentino, as he was down after 2 pitches, 0-2. Wigginton at second. Orioles trying to add to their lead here in the 5th. And he got it. Well, good pitch by Nippert, and Fiorentino couldn't reach it.
Toughest pitch in baseball to hit there. Fastball down and away with a lot of movement on it. You see there, it looks like a strike right off the bat. Fiorentino has no chance with that pitch at all. He has to swing at it, but it's very, very tough to do because you saw that he took a little bit off that ball to get the more movement. Pretty good job on his part.
Well, here's Chad Moeller, who's had a good day. Drove in 2 runs with a double in his first at bat. It's a breaking ball for a strike. Moeller's hitting 4 in a row, and he has 6 RBIs since coming back from AAA. He was promoted back to the Orioles to become the backup when Greg Zaun was traded to Tampa. Too tight, 1-1. Nippert's got some life on that fastball.
Got some nice movement on it. You know, he still likes to try to fall off. I never do like to see umpires that fall, pitchers that fall off with that head going towards first base, like right there.
He's a big guy, goes 6'8" and 224. Two and one on Moeller with 2 down. Wigginton at second base. Hard hit ball towards right field. There's a base hit. Wigginton will be sent by Juan Samuel. Cruz throw to the plate. The slide, he is out at the plate. So Nelson Cruz with his 9th outfield assist cuts down the runner at the plate, and that ends the Orioles' 5th. 2 hits and 1 left. Cruz perfect at Teagarden, and Wigginton out to end it. PCA and their work with local homeless pets. To get your Orioles pet calendar, get online at Orioles.com. Julio Bourbon bunt attempt. Guthrie fields well, quickly off the mound, and easily gets it to first. And on 1 pitch, 1 down in the 6th inning. And Bourbon now is 0 for 3, trying to bunt his way on.
Well, that tells you something about how well Guthrie is pitching today. They're trying to find ways to get on base against him. They certainly can't do it swinging straight away today.
He's allowed only 4 base runners, 3 singles, and a walk. And no runs. Here's Elvis Andrus. Andrus, the number 2 batter. And there's a strike in the outside corner. Perfect pitch. Guthrie had a 3 up, 3 down in the first. He had a 3 up, 3 down in the third, and trying to get here in the sixth after getting the leadoff hitter. Texas twice in this game has put the leadoff man on, but has not yet been able to score. They stranded 2 in the second, and a leadoff single in the fourth was erased on a double play ball.
Well, you can just watch and see how nice and slow and deliberate Jeremy Guthrie is today. I hope he kind of maintains this kind of rhythm and timing out here today, making some excellent pitches.
Fouled off the foot of Andrews. Well, he's looking for his 10th win. And the Texas bullpen is busy again. Pedro Strop. Ball and 2 strikes on Andrews. Grounded towards the hole, and that squirts out through for a base hit. That one hugged the ground past Andino. So Andrews is on with his first hit and a 1-out single.
Well, you like to see him getting the ground ball. So that's the second time today that this exact ground ball has gotten through the infield, just off the glove right there of Andino into left field. Just missed it by about half a step. You see there where Bird had the same kind of base hit in the start off the second inning of the ball game today. Just a game of inches.
Ian Kinsler now, fastball for a strike. He thought it was outside. Staring at the other batter's box after Joe West called strike 1. Kinsler 1 out of 2. He snapped an 0 for 12 drought with a 4th inning single. Line to center field is another base hit. And Kinsler's on with his second base hit, and Texas has 2 on with only 1 down. Because of their home run potential, this team is never out of a game regardless of the score. 6-0 game, but here comes Marlon Byrd, who has home run pop. 1 swing and the lead is cut in half.
Well, the next 3 guys that you face in the order have got almost 70 home runs between them, and that's why you saw Chad Moeller going to the mound right away. And this is beautiful. This is what you want to see out of your catcher, communicating with Jeremy Guthrie, telling him what we have to do now to get out of this inning. We need a ground ball. Let's stay down right here. Let the defense do their job and get the double play. So don't try to change anything at this point.
That one misses outside to Marlon Byrd, who is 1 out of 2. See the pitch count by inning for Jeremy Guthrie. The second inning was the tough inning. That's when Texas got 2 base hits and ended up stranding 2. Just missed outside.
See, now he's starting to try to guide the ball a little bit, and this is the kind of delivery that got him in trouble for most of the first half, is rushing through and just trying to pick that outside corner. Just relax and do what you've been doing so the entire ball game. Keep it down, let the ball move, and it'll take care of itself.
Bird with a big healthy cut fouls it back.
Is it going to hurt him right here? Even if he does give up a base hit in this situation, the most they could probably get is 1 run. But you still need to get the ground ball. Keep working the ground ball until we get this double play and we can get him out of the inning.
2-1 is fouled back. So Guthrie trying to win his 10th game. He won 10 games last year for the Orioles. He was 10-12. He would be 10-13 with a win here today.
Good spot as far as I'm concerned to sit that sinker that he's been throwing and stay off the outside corner, force him to go after this ball. And then stay out of the middle of the plate. That would be the pitch for me. Don't want to see him go 3-2 here and give the hitter an advantage. Here's his innings, pitches by innings. That second inning you were talking about, Jim, 26 pitches. That'll have an effect later on in the ball game, but most of them have been around that 10-pitch limit, which is very good. You want to kind of stay under 13 to 15 right in there for most of your innings will take you deep into a ball game.
Well, he has averaged 17 pitches per inning on the year. If you average 15 pitches per inning, that gets you to 105 through 7 innings. 2-2 to Bird is high. Looked like he aimed that one. 3-2. Mark Hendrickson and now Matt Albers in the Orioles pen. 3-2 the count on Marlon Byrd. And foul back.
This is that part of the ball game, you know, where Jeremy Guthrie just needs to relax and try easier instead of trying harder to throw the ball a little bit more velocity and throw the ball by a big hitter like this. It's take a little bit more off this ball. Let's get the ground ball. It isn't going to hurt you no matter where the ground ball is hit. So just get him to swing the bat and keep it on the ground.
3-2 pitch is popped up wide of first. Wigginton over, and he runs out of room. It's about 4 rows back. Ty conversing with some of the fans there. Guthrie is trying to become the 23rd pitcher in the American League to win at least 10 games. Sabathia and Verlander are tied for the most wins with 16 each. 3-2 holding on Marlon Byrd. Another foul ball, or is it a swing and a miss?
To me, it looked like a swing and a miss.
That's exactly what it was. Joe West did come up with the thumb, so Byrd is down on strikes, and on what will be a wild pitch, the runners do advance, but now 2 men down.
And it didn't look like he crossed Moeller up, but he may have done that on this pitch. This right here, we're seeing the wrong thing on a swinging bunt to first base.
So that is strikeout number 4. And on the wild pitch, the runners advance to second and third as Andrews goes to third and Kinsler to second. And Rick Kranitz out for a judicious visit here just to give Guthrie a breather and get him back on track.
Well, something obviously happened there. I don't know whether or not it was probably a miscommunication on a pitch call. He ended up thinking that there was going to be a breaking ball, and he got the fastball. His glove went down to try to catch the breaking ball, but it went over his glove, thinking being a fastball. Toughest pitch to adjust to when you get crossed up. The other way, it's easy to do when you're looking fastball and get a breaking ball, but not breaking ball to a fastball.
1-0 on BLALOCK. High fly ball to right. Markakis near the corner and has it for the out. So Guthrie does get out of it. A couple of strikeouts and 2 left on this beautiful Sunday Labor Day. Let's get out on the Inner Harbor.
Martinez went 2 for 3 with an RBI yesterday for Bowie. He's batting .375 in his rehab stint there. He will not be coming up with call-ups on Tuesday. Also, Brandon Irby, he pitched a 7-inning complete game for Bowie yesterday. He gave up just 1 earned run, 1 hit, and 5 strikeouts. He did get the win. He has a 5-3 record. And just a reminder, as I said, the season does end tomorrow for the minor leagues. So on Tuesday, while the team is in Boston, we should see about 3 or 4 more players join the expanded roster. Jim?
All right, Amber, thanks very much. So the minor league season is winding down, and here is Pedro Strop, who comes on to work here in the 6th inning. Nippert went 1 2/3 in relief of the starter Derek Holland, and another of the stable of young pitchers coming through this Rangers organization. Strop is in his 4th pro season out of the Dominican Republic. 24 years old. He'll face Robert Andino, then Roberts and PA to follow. Interesting story with this right-hander. He was a converted infielder. So if you have a good arm as an infielder and you can't hit, they make you
get out on the mound. That's right.
Pitch is low.
Anybody can pitch anyway, right, Jim?
No.
Kind of like yourself, you were a pretty good shortstop.
No, second base.
Didn't you want to second base? Didn't you want to be a pitcher?
Maybe way back. Fly ball to center field. Well, everyone wants to be the pitcher. I mean, it's the guy in the mound. He's got the ball. Don't forget, you can keep up with the latest Orioles news on your favorite social networking site, Facebook and Twitter. Visit facebook.com/Orioles or twitter.com/Birdland Insider and follow your O's. You'll be the first to learn behind-the-scenes information straight from the team's communication department. All the Birdland news you need is just a click away. And look, they're doing it right now as if on cue.
No, they're
Twittering.
They're taking a picture of you, Jim. That's what they were trying to do.
They're twittering.
They're twittering.
Roberts a bouncer to second base. Kinsler has it. He'll get it to first, and 2 quick outs in the Orioles' 6th inning. Amber was talking about the minor leagues and the season's ending tomorrow. The Bay Sox are at home against Harrisburg. They're playing the Nationals AA team this weekend, and Steve Johnson is pitching another fine game through 6 innings. He has allowed 1 run on 3 hits, and he has struck out 6.
He has really done a good job since he's coming over here. I like what I see, and his father's very proud of him, of course, Dave Johnson, and keeps us all updated on the internet as to what he's doing every single pitch.
And he throws strikes.
He does. I love the way he throws. He hides the ball well. That's what I really like. A right-hander with a little sling to it.
Race is on, and the pitcher Strop gets there to get PA. Nicely done by Strop. So 3 up, 3 down go the Birds on this beautiful Sunday in the Inner Harbor. The Orioles enjoy a 6-0 lead. on MASN HD. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, Clay Buchholz, you see, is really starting to put his season back together again. He's finally got above 500, 4-3. David Hernandez is pitching very well again for the Orioles. Seems to be getting back on track again. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
And here's Guthrie in the 7th inning facing CRUZ. Falls behind, and that one's outside, ball 2. CRUZ has 1 hit. He's 1 out of 2. He'll be followed by Davis and TEAGARDEN in the Texas 7th inning. There's a strike, fastball right in there. Guthrie 2-1 in his last 3 starts and has a 6-0 lead here today. A little bit low, ball 3.
Right now, the only thing you don't want to do in this ball game is walk anybody. So Jeremy Guthrie on the verge of walking his 2nd batter of the game.
CRUZ was looking for a pitch over the plate, and he gave it a healthy cut and missed it. He is tied for 3rd in the league with his 31 home runs. And now it's a 4-game hitting streak with his infield hit here today. And strike 3 called at the knees.
Well, that was a great pitch right there, right at the knees. Not much of a chance for CRUZ to even get a good swing at this ball right here. You see the glove at the bottom of the knees, just a hair down there. Joe West right on it right from the very beginning. Where it goes through that strike zone sometimes is a little bit better than what you see on that retract, but wow, great pitch by Jeremy Guthrie.
Well, it's a good angle, the first view from center field, because you saw it, as Rick described, it did go through the strike zone as a strike, and then it dipped as it got to Moeller. And credit to Joe West for calling the pitch as he saw it, not where it ended up. Davis fouls it back. It's 0-2. Guillermo Moscoso is up in the bullpen. I'll tell you, Texas has some guys out there. 11-man bullpen for this game today. 0-2 is outside, 1-2. Guthrie has 5 strikeouts. He's walked 1. The walk didn't hurt. And he has allowed 4 hits in this game. All 4 hits singles. Make that 5 hit singles. 2 hits in the 6th inning, and both were left stranded.
Another thing I've noticed with Guthrie today, you don't see a lot of walking around the mound trying to think of what he's going to do to get out of trouble. He's getting the ball right back from Chad Moeller, going right into his pitch and his windup. So he's pretty focused today.
Swing and a miss by Davis. Moeller will have to get it to first. Fires high to Wigginton, who was able to hold on to it. That was a tough play for Moeller. The angle was blocked, and he had to throw it through the runner almost. And Wigginton lunging high to grab it for the out.
Another look at it. Breaking ball down in the dirt. Chad Moeller blocks it. He's got plenty of time, but not a real good angle. He just has to let it go over the base runner's head. And he gets a little help there from Wigginton. Good job on his part. Look at that footwork.
And 2 down in the 7th inning.
Looks like a dancing rhinoceros out there. It was ugly, but it's effective.
Here is Teagarden. Meantime, Mike Lowell has hit a 2-run home run, so the Red Sox now have a 2-0 lead in Chicago on the White Sox. And the Angels have added 3 runs and still batting in the top of the 4th, so the Angels have a 7-1 lead in Kansas City. 2 scores very important to the Rangers. There's a line drive to center. Base hit for Teagarden. He gets his first hit.
This is something you haven't seen Jeremy Guthrie do too often to the course of the season, is get stronger as the game goes on. In that 6th and 7th inning is where you started to see a little weakness in his game for most of the part. But as of these last 4 starts now for him, he's starting to get stronger and stronger. You're starting to see him really get settled in with his delivery. I think he's been looking for this all season long.
Joe West called time and stared into the Orioles dugout as if somebody on the bench yelled something out. Well, there's no movement off the Orioles bench. There's a pitch taken for a strike by Omar Vizquel. Omar Vizquel still going strong, 42 years old. He made his professional debut in 1984.
What a great player to be able to go to in his role now as a part-time guy. You know, mentor to all the young players. He's been an outstanding defensive player, outstanding offensive player. He's been in pennant races. This guy's been one of the best players at his position for a long, long time. Omar Vizquel did things that boggled the mind, some of the plays that this guy's had made.
The 0-2 is fouled off. Guthrie has struck out 6. He has walked just the one batter. Vizquel batting with TEAGARDEN at first and 2 down. And just inside 2-2.
This is a perfect game plan for Jeremy Guthrie today. Staying ahead of the hitters, make them swing the bat. You're going to get what you just got last inning on the strikeout, breaking ball in the dirt. These guys realize they have to swing the bat today at anything close. Guthrie is on his game.
Tap to third. Melvin Moore looks to second. Instead goes to first. Omar Vizquel is out, and that ends the inning. So a base hit and a man left, and the Orioles at the 7th inning stretch enjoying a 6-0 lead. And now on this Sunday afternoon, let's have the David McGowan in the public address.
The brave men and women who serve our nation. And
pitching, clutch hitting, add-on runs in a 6-0 lead.
Timely hitting is what you need. Put a couple runs on the border. Give Jeremy Guthrie a chance to relax and make pitches. He's had an outstanding day today. Most of his outs have been on the ground. He's kept the ball in the ballpark. That's something he's needed to do right there. Everything fell in place for him today. Perfect tempo today, Jim.
A lot of movement on his pitches, in particular within the strike zone. The Rangers aren't getting a lot of good solid hits off him.
He's staying ahead of the hitters. That's one of the key things. Then when he gets ahead, he can throw the ball. Fastball's been up in the strike zone. He got a couple of strikeouts. He's had 6 on the day so far. For the rest of the time, he's had him swinging at balls in the dirt. That just goes to show how effective he is today.
Texas came in here red hot, and they're in the race, both in the wild card and the West. The Orioles on the verge of winning a 2nd consecutive game as Craig Gentry comes into the game in center field for Texas. As Marlon Byrd is out, there's Esteban Herman, who takes over at second base for Kinsler. So Ron Washington getting a couple of his regulars out of the game. And we have a new pitcher coming on as well. And first ball swinging is REIMOLD, and he fouls it back. Guillermo Moscoso comes on here in the 7th inning for Texas. So 3 changes for the Rangers as the Birds come up here in the 7th. REIMOLD, Markakis, and Mora will be up for the Birds. There's a breaking ball inside. 1-1 the count on REIMOLD, who was 0 for 2 but does have an RBI and a sac fly.
Pretty good situational hitting on the part of Nolan REIMOLD today. Big sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning. He drove in a run with that. And that helped the Orioles put up a big 4 spot in that inning. That's been the difference of this game today for Guthrie, being able to relax out there with a 6-run lead instead of just a 2.
1-2 on Nolan REIMOLD. The stroke goes 1 inning for Texas. REIMOLD to center field. There's Gentry. He broke back, now in, and has it for the out. And 1 down in the Orioles 7th inning. Time now for you to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. And here are the candidates. Jeremy Guthrie, 7 outstanding innings so far. Ty Wigginton, who has a big day at the plate going, 2 doubles. And Chad Moeller, who has a 2-run double and has caught a fine game. Text in your vote now and have your voice heard. A, B, or C to 51862. So here is Nick Markakis now. Nick is 0 for 3 on the day, and he takes a strike.
That'll be a pretty good feeling for Jeremy Guthrie, sitting on the bench right now, knowing he only needs 6 more outs in this game to post another win. Feels pretty comfortable about the way everything is going.
Ball and a strike on Markakis.
I saw him last night over at Ocean Air Restaurant in Baltimore, and he was getting ready to get his bike, but he was a little upset with the guy because he couldn't get valet parking for his bicycle.
He's amazing with that bicycle. Rides it all over town.
Rides it everywhere.
Keeps his legs in shape.
I know.
There's a lesson in there. And Markakis takes outside, ball 3. Matt Albert's still getting loose in the bullpen, so it looks like Guthrie's day may be over. And that is outside, ball 4. So 1-out walk, and Markakis gets on base for the first time today. Here's Melvin Mora.
Pretty good. Melvin Mora has really started to swing the bat a whole lot better than he did the first half of the season. I was talking to him in the clubhouse, is that he feels like he is totally healthy at this point in the season. That early on he had some nagging injuries that really helped him to kind of mess up his swing a little bit.
And Melvin takes a strike, 1-1.
One thing for sure, Melvin Mora is been one of the best hitters for the Orioles with men in scoring position. That was something that really showed up the most over the second half of the first half, was that Melvin stopped hitting with men in scoring position. He just like totally lost his swing for a while. The rhythm and the timing, he was getting jammed a lot. Some balls off the end of the bat. He just didn't feel himself. So now he seems to be getting it back, and he's putting up some hits and numbers. He gets a couple of hits in the ball game, but usually some big ones. Now hitting some home runs, 7 of them here at Camden, and driving in some more runs.
Moscoso gets him to foul it back. 2-2 the count. Moscoso out of Venezuela, so a couple of natives of Venezuela battling here. He is 25 years old, is Guillermo. Off the end of the bat to right field. Nelson Cruz misplayed it, battling the sun, and has it for the out. He came in too far and then had to back up, and that was a tough play because as he was backing up, the sun became a factor. The Nicely done by CRUZ.
Take another look at it. You see CRUZ coming in thinking the ball was hit more off the end of the bat than it was, and he picks it up late. Shades himself from the sun in his eyes. They can see it today. Pretty tough sky today. That's very white out there.
Yeah, the glare of the mid-afternoon. Here's Ty Wigginton. Check swing, and he fouls it off.
Kind of surprising to me, Jim, that they would take a couple of their #1 Kinsler out of the ball game today, and a few of their other players. They're big players. Considering that this ballpark, 6 runs, you get a little something going here, and 6 runs is not that many to put up. The Orioles have put up 6 or more quite a few times this season.
Fastball stays inside. 1-1 on Wigginton. The Rangers head to Cleveland after the game. They have a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night. Actually, they have a late afternoon game tomorrow on the Labor Day holiday. It's a 4:05 Eastern Time first pitch.
Wigginton today with 2 doubles to left center field. One of them was a bullet, the other one was a long line drive, but that first one shot past the shortstop in the blink of an eye.
Fouls that back. Guillermo Moscoso, the 4th pitcher used by Ron Washington today. Two balls and 2 strikes on Wigginton with Markakis at first. Well, good cut. He fouled it straight back. Moscoso was acquired from the Tigers on December the 8th. He was part of the deal in which Gerald Laird, who was the Rangers starting catcher last year, was sent to the Tigers. He's been in pro ball since 2003. Most of that was spent in A ball with the Tigers. Last year he finally got promoted to Double-A, and he appeared in only 6 games. In 2003 and 2004 he pitched in the Dominican Summer League for the Tigers. Then he finally made it to Oneonta in the New York Penn League, then to the Gulf Coast League, then Lakeland, Oneonta, West Michigan, and last year Lakeland again before he was promoted to Erie. It's taken some time for him to make his mark felt. Markakis goes to 3-2. It's bounced towards the middle, and that gets through for a base hit. Wigginton has his 3rd hit. Markakis ends up at 3rd, 1st and 3rd, and 2 men out.
Boy, Wiggy's had some pretty good streaks so far this season. This is his 3rd hit on the day here, but in one stretch he had a 9-game hitting streak. So he is used to putting the bat on the ball. You see it again, ground ball right up the middle. A lot of top spin, gets right by the shortstop into center. But during that 9-game hit streak, 16 for 34, 471 batting average. So he's a pretty good guy to have coming off the bench, even if he's a platoon player or just a pinch hitter.
Well, Fiorentino gets another shot. Middle of the lineup has been very productive here for the Orioles. Outside of Fiorentino, 1-0. Been on base twice. He has walked and scored. He has singled, driven in a run, and scored again. So 2 runs, 1 for 2 officially. And there's a strike taken by Fiorentino. Well, if you're not supposed to rush prospect, Moscoso is an example of that, taking all that time to finally make it to the big leagues.
Boy, he has given him a steady diet right on that outside corner, trying to get him to hit the ball the opposite way.
Two and 1 on Fiorentino. And there's a strike, 2-2. Moscoso has been up and down 5 different times this year with the Rangers. And in the minor leagues, he split the season between AAA Oklahoma and AA Frisco in the Texas League.
He's used up more options than you have, coming back and forth with me
There's a line drive to center field. There's a base hit for Fiorentino. Here's Markakis to score, as Fiorentino has a big 2-out base hit. He's got a 2 RBI game and a 7-0 Orioles lead.
This guy has just proven what I've always said about him, what an excellent hitter he really is. He gets a little bit more. He knows he's going for that outside corner again right here, and a tougher pitch to hit. He just drives it right up the middle. Good hand-eye coordination. Good solid swing right there. Wasn't going to swing at that pitch unless he had to, and when he did, still successful with it.
So Jeff Fiorentino having a big day. And here's Chad Moeller taking strike one. Moeller has a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs. Chad's 5th multi-hit game this season. He was with the Orioles to begin the year until Matt Wieters arrived in May, and then back to AAA, and then was called back up when Greg Zaun was traded to Tampa. He is a good guy to have on your club and in your organization. 0-1 the count with 2 on and 2 down.
Well, you know you're going to have a tough day when you got the guys like that. Wigginton, Fiorentino, and Moeller. 7 hits for the ball club today. A lot of production out of that part of the order. And then you've got to face Roberts and REIMOLD, Markakis, and the upper half. The best half of the lineup hasn't even posted hardly today. Roberts has a couple of hits.
Shot foul, rolling up the third base side towards Juan Samuel. 1-2 on Chad Moeller. Boston now has a 3-0 lead on the White Sox in Chicago. That game has gone to the 6th. And the Angels are still leading in Kansas City. It's now 7-2 Angels in the 5th inning.
Boy, all of a sudden the White Sox are really struggling to stay in that race, aren't they, Jim?
Game below 500 is Chicago. Here's the 1-2. He got him. Couldn't reach the fastball, so down on strikes goes Moeller, but the Orioles add a run. We'll head to the 8th. 7-0 Birds. Innings, he struck out 6, walked only 1, and scattered 6 singles on the day. So Guthrie is now in line to win his 10th, and he gives way Rick to Matt Albers, who comes on here in the 8th inning.
Matt Albers has been pitching kind of hot and cold all season long. Struggled a little bit, went back to AAA ball, put it back together. Came back here with the Orioles again, put it together for a little while, but it lacked the consistency really that you kind of expect out of him. He's had some arm troubles towards the end of last season. Don't know if he's really been totally strong all season long.
He has appeared in 2 games since being called back up on September 1st. Here's Julio Bourbon. And he takes ball 1. 2 innings against the Yankees on Tuesday, no runs for Albers, and 2 innings against the Rangers on Friday and no runs. He also has not allowed a hit since coming back in those 4 innings. There's a bouncer towards second. Roberts waits on the hop. Borbon is retired, 1 out in the Texas 8th inning. Good hustle down the line by the rookie. So Albers gets the first man. But Mathis now getting loose in the Texas pen. Looks like it's a bullpen day for Ron Washington. 4 pitchers have already been in the game, including the starter.
You know, Matt Albers has been a bit of a mystery so far this year. I mean, when this guy is on, he really has outstanding stuff. Good movement on the fastball. Good breaking pitches. He's been a starter. He was a starter with Houston. Struggled a little bit in there. But look at the movement on that fastball. You know, you got that kind of movement on the fastball and you keep it down in the zone. There's really no excuse for you to have any kind of bad streak at all. Matt Albers has had a little bit of trouble. But, boy, when he's on, he's excellent.
0-1 to Elvis Andrus, who takes low. Andrus, 21-year-old rookie, facing Matt Albers in his 2nd season with the Birds. Good location there. Andrus couldn't reach it.
Same 3 fastballs he's been throwing. When you've got a good sinking, moving fastball, you really don't need a whole lot of other pitches. Just something else to show them in case they get into a 2-strike situation. With that much movement, you can just go right at him. That's what he's been doing. Look at these pitches down and in. The sinker. You can see how far it took Bergeson so far this year with that sinker too. He's established himself as one of the better starters in the American League.
Well, 2-2 as Albers misses. Sharply hit the third. Moore goes a tough hop backhand that fires across to get it.
You know what a great play this was. That ball came up on Melvin. Always said it too. He's one of the best guys going to his right at third base in the league, and you see it right there too. It comes up on him. He stays with it, comes out of it, makes a good strong throw to first base for the out.
So Albers gets 2 ground balls to begin the inning. On in relief of Jeremy Guthrie, here's Esteban Herman, who's batting for a first time. He's in Kinsler's spot in the lineup. Ball 1 outside. Jeremy Guthrie now, if you go back over his last 4 starts, he's in line for a win here. 7 scoreless innings. His combined ERA in his last 4 games now is 1.33. Just outstanding work lately by Jeremy Guthrie. 4 earned runs in 27 innings over the last 4 starts. And today, the 2nd time this year he did not allow a run. The other, you have to go all the way back to his 2nd start of the year, in which he pitched 6 scoreless innings against Tampa Bay. But in his last 4 starts, he's allowed 1 run, 1 run, 2 runs, and no runs.
Pretty good. Only 4 earned runs in the last four games that he started.
And today you have the combination of Guthrie being in control and the hitters giving him run support. 3-1 as Albers misses well off the plate. Herman was activated off the disabled list on September the 1st. And he draws a 2-out walk.
See, these are the kind of at-bats that I just don't understand from Matt Albers, letting this hitter get away. All you need to do is throw that fastball right down the middle of the plate. It's got enough movement to keep you out of trouble, keep the ball in play. You can't walk people in these situations when you're up 7-0. You got a big run differential like you've got so far today. The only thing that's really going to hurt you is the walk. So you guard against that. Tell the hitter what's coming, throw it right down the middle of the plate, let it move. He's most likely going to get himself out as it is.
And here's a big moment for Craig Gentry, as you saw, his first major league at bat. He was promoted from Double-A Frisco where he batted .303, 8 home runs, 53 RBIs in 127 games. He also led the Texas League in stolen bases. So a reward by the parent club to promote him after a fabulous year in AA. Alvarez gets ahead of him 0-2. Outside, he lays off. Gentry played in college at the University of Arkansas. He was a 10th round pick in 2006. So this is his 4th professional season.
That's a pretty wide spread. He's got in that batter's box right there. He's not going to move too far.
It's a very unusual wide stance.
Most of the time when players look at this, he's from one end of the batter's box to the next. Doesn't like a lot of movement in the head or the body. That's why they spread out that far, so that they can't overstride. Jeff Fiorentino almost exactly got as a shorter, but he picks the front foot up and sets it down. Therefore, he doesn't move either.
1-2 is outside. Appears to have a pretty good batting eye. Last year he played in 76 games in AA and 18 in AAA. And this year the full season in AA in the Texas League. 2-2 is hit towards third. Melvin Moore gloves. He'll get a second. There's the force on Esteban Herman. And the inning ends. A 2-out walk and a mad left mid-8. 7-0 Birds. And won the final 2 games in this series from this playoff hopeful Texas Rangers club. And another new pitcher comes on. 4th reliever, 5th pitcher overall. Doug Mathis comes on for Texas.
We see Doug Mathis there, only giving up 31 hits in 36 innings. That's the kind of thing you look for too. Not very many walks, 10 walks on the season. Pretty good numbers right there. So you can see why Texas is really making some turnarounds too. Guys coming up, pitching well, putting up good numbers. All pays off by the end of the season.
Mathis has been back with the Rangers since August the 2nd. In AAA at Oklahoma, he was used in the rotation. 9-1-2 coming up for the Orioles. Andino, Roberts, and PA against the right-hander, Doug Mathis.
This has been a very comfortable, fun day, Jim. You know, watching a lot of Oriole offense, good pitching, good defense. This is what we should be getting used to.
It is a much different game when your starter goes to the mound and controls the other team. There's no doubt about it.
The tempo of the game. You're exactly right.
Guthrie did that today as well as he has all year. And Jeremy right now, as the season heads to the climax, is pitching his best baseball.
I think it would be good just for him psychologically to finish the season 500 or better again after the way things have gone. He'll win his 10th game today unless something drastic really happens here. But then be 10-13 and at least a chance of pitching 500 before the season is over.
And Dino bounces it to third. That's a fair ball. A long throw for Omar Vizquel. Still has a good arm at age 42, and one down in the Oriole 8th inning. Here's an update on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and a tight race. Jeremy Guthrie 39%, Ty Wigginton 34%, Chad Muller 27%. There's still time for you to text in your vote and have your voice heard, A, B, or C, to 51862. And Tom and Dave will have the results coming up on O's Extra Post Game.
I'll throw my bid in for the catcher, Muller, of course.
Shocker.
And you go out there.
Dempsey's voting for the catcher.
That's right.
Here's Brian Roberts, who's had a 2-hit game, his 45th multi-hit game on the year.
Where would Guthrie be today if he didn't have somebody back there guiding him to the promised land?
Is that how it worked?
Of course. Nice going, Chad.
Chad,
Get in there. Have a drink.
Guided the starter through 7 scoreless innings. Now, if it were that easy, where you're the suggester, right?
Yes.
Is that what we call you guys?
We are the suggesters.
That you would make those kinds of suggestions day in and day out, team could win the pennant.
Absolutely. Totally agree. It's a huge part of it right there.
All right, now, in contrast, Mr. Catcher.
Yep.
Team is the highest ERA in the league, so I'm on the pitcher side of this one. It's all your fault.
Only if Palmer was on the mound,
Gotcha.
he'd be blaming me.
There's a ground ball to second. Herman has it. We'll get Brian Roberts for the second out here in the 8th inning. So Jeremy is 3 outs away from his 10th win, which would make it back-to-back double-digit win seasons. It's harder to win 10 games than you might imagine. Jeremy would become only the 23rd pitcher in the league. 14 teams in the league and 5 men in each rotation. So 70 starting pitchers at any one time, and only 22 up to this day. And Guthrie about to become
10 or more wins.
10 or more wins. It's tough to win, in particular because as a starter, there is so much you don't control. You know, you can pitch well, and maybe a play isn't made behind you, or maybe you're that guy in the staff, which Guthrie has been, not this year. They have supported him well enough this year, but in the past, run support. There's so many things a starter cannot control in trying to get a winning decision.
Well, how about last year with Jeremy Guthrie leading the ball club in wins with just 10?
You have Tremblay looking on. The starters have really pitched very well as of late collectively. As the youngsters gain more and more experience. But you know, Guthrie's the one guy out there with any kind of experience. Tough play, and Peel's going to have an infield hit. Mathis was very late in getting over there, and once that ball took the big hop to Davis, the race was on.
He deserved that hit because he ran hard right out of the batter's box. As soon as he makes contact, watch this, that second, third stride, he is full out. He knows he's got a chance for a base hit all the way through the bag, and a 1B. No chance to get it. Good speed. I think there's another shot at it again. Right from the very beginning, he knows he's got a shot at it, and he runs hard. That's what I like, too, about this ball. I think Nolan REIMOLD has had a huge effect on this ball club as far as hustle has been concerned. He has run hard every single out, every single base hit, double, triple, you name it. The guy gives you 110% every day. I love this.
Michael Aubrey is pinch hitting for REIMOLD, who is 0 for 3, does have an RBI in the game on a sac fly. There's a chopper hit slowly to first. Davis will charge, and he will tag out Michael Aubrey for the final out. So a 2-out hit, And a man left, and a collision at first base. PA had an infield hit. O's have a 7-0 lead. Excuse me. Here's Cam Nicolayo on to pitch the ninth.
I was out boating, but we'll talk about Cam. It's more interesting right now. He's come up from AAA, and he has done a great job at changing some of his mechanics around, and he is quickly becoming one of those better pitchers out of the bullpen now. As long as he stays straight and lined up, keeps his shoulders square to home plate, this guy's got great movement on his fastball and was very impressive those first 10 innings that he pitched.
So Nicolayo comes on. Albers pitched the 8th, allowed a 2-out walk and no runs. As the Orioles now try to complete this shutout and get 2 out of 3 from Texas. BLALOCK, CRUZ, and Davis will come up against Nicolayo. And Cam misses high, 1-0. Nicolayo last worked on Wednesday. He has allowed runs in each of his last 3 appearances and has taken the loss in 2 of those. His mechanics are so critical because of how tall he is.
Oh, you're right. I was just going to say something about that too, because now you start to see him falling off a little bit. Those first 10 innings that he pitched were outstanding, but now he's starting to throw a little bit more across his body than he had been, and he doesn't have that movement that he had. He was unhittable for the first 4 or 5 outings that he made. Unbelievable. So they're going to have to find him a little bit and get him back on track again. Find out what it is that makes him start falling off and losing his balance, because this guy, oh my gosh, he could be a closer, but he's got that good of stuff.
He came back to the Orioles on August the 18th and had 3 consecutive just outstanding outings. 5 innings, no runs allowed, but in his last 3 outings covering 4 innings, he's allowed 4 earned runs. 4-pitch walk begins the inning. There's a strike to CRUZ.
Hey, we were talking about doing that boating yesterday before the game. Yesterday morning, took the boat out, went over to the Dundalk area, hit 2 sandbars on the way over. Woo.
There's a line drive and a base hit for CRUZ. So Texas not going quietly. PA has to knock it down. That ball was blistered. So a walk, now a single, 2 on with none out.
That's more than Nick Markakis has hit today.
So CRUZ is 2 out of 4. Moeller out to change the signs with a runner now at second base. Here's Chris Davis, who has struck out twice and walked. Davis has 64 hits on the year. 28 of those are extra base hits. He has only 36 singles. 11 doubles to go with his 17 home runs. Foul back on one.
He would be a fun guy for me to work with the staffs that I got to catch with the Orioles, because if you watch him through the course of his swing, wherever he sets his hands, you watch him as they go back, they go down, and then he just uppercuts to the ball. Big time uppercut. Don't let him catch a fastball about middle of the thigh, because he can hit it a long way. There they go down and a straight up cut. Guys like that, Jim, you can pitch them up in the strike zone with that good high fastball, and they have a real tough time catching. Another guy is, don't pitch to Pena. Pena's the same way. He even has more of a uppercut than this guy right here. You don't want to mess around down in the zone too much with him. Back-to-back pitches. Up you can.
There's a bouncer. It's slowly to second. Roberts looks to second but takes the sure out as Davis is retired. BLALOCK to third. CRUZ to second now with one down. And Nicolao gets the first out here in the Texas ninth inning. The Red Sox still leading in Chicago on the White Sox 3-0. That game is now in the seventh inning. Boston has the wild card lead by 2 games over these Rangers. The Angels are hoping to go up by 5.5 in the AL West. Los Angeles leads in Kansas City 7-2 now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Keller Teagarden takes a strike. Teagarden is 1 out of 3. He has singled and also bounced into a force play and flied out. Fastball misses too tight. 1-1. 97 miles an hour.
97 mile an hour sinker. Wow.
Mark Hendrickson once again getting loose.
You know how hard it is to throw a sinker that's moving that much that fast? That's how effective this kid can be when he gets on balance.
There's a lot of body going towards the plate. Arms and legs.
What's he, 8 feet tall?
6'9".
Oh, was that all?
6'9".
We've got a pretty good basketball team out here in this bullpen alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do.
1-2 on Teagarden. Pitch misses outside. 2-2. Well, back in the day, teams used to have the off-season basketball teams, and they would go around and play charity games, but now everyone scatters.
Until Mike Flanagan snapped his Achilles tendon in half, and
that was the end of that.
That was it.
2-2 on Teagarden. 2 on and 1 down. And it just does get a piece to stay alive.
You take a look at Nicolao's delivery again. Now watch that front leg. He really closes up. And then there it goes. A little bit. That really wasn't as bad as I have seen him. But the key to his delivery is keeping his head still. Don't go to first base with it. Whatever you got to do to keep the head still. Don't close up so much. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, got him. So he goes to the breaking pitch, and Teagarden swings over it for the second out.
You know, the good thing about this pitch is he stayed with it long enough where he really didn't throw himself off balance. The breaking ball, perfect position down on the outside corner. That's what you like to see. If he can just wait long enough before he releases the ball, but any release point before you have to, and it really throws him off balance.
Omar Vizquel takes ball 1. Omar hitless on the day. He's been doing a good job in his reserve role for Texas. As Michael Young is out of the lineup with a hamstring pull. That is a big loss for these Rangers. Josh Hamilton is also out. He's got a back issue. So 2 of their top hitters not playing in this series. BLALOCK at third, CRUZ at second, now with 2 men out. High fly ball to right. Vizquel got a lot of it. Markakis is back at the wall. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. So Vizquel gave it a ride, but it died right in front of the scoreboard. And the Orioles complete the shutout. It is a 7-hit shutout combined as Guthrie, Albers, and Nicolayo work the game. Final score from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Birds get 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. Orioles 7 and the Rangers 9.